Joe, they had 60 points in the paint, but you basically shut them out from everywhere else. How much of that was kind of planned or expected coming into tonight, and how much was just that how it went?
Well, the nice, we defended the three-point line extremely well. In some cases, there were some shots that they missed, but overall, the effort to get out and cover that was really good. Give them credit for being persistent about driving the ball. So in some instances, that was running them off the line, and then the guys, the next rotation trying to get there, and sometimes they were, late, what have you. At halftime, I believe it was 36 points in the paint, so it was a point of emphasis saying, hey, they're going to keep coming. But remember, it's also intent to drive and kick as well to create shots. So, again, we gave up that, but we did a great job of defending the three.
Yeah, and what was the reason for Eric only playing 2.5 minutes tonight? Was it injury related?
Yeah, no, he's had some left ankle soreness, and the bottom line is, we gave it a go. The effort, was there in terms of trying to go out and play, and obviously couldn't go.
When you look at Giannis tonight, 18 rebounds for him. I think he's top 10 in the league now in rebounding. Mm-hmm. What has it meant this year that he's been able to take some of that load? How does that help your team out as a whole?
Well, rebounding is huge for us. And that goes across the board. It's, again, you talk about all the things that Giannis does in a game. Rebounding is one of them that we need. We need everybody to rebound. It's one of, if we were looking at some other guys, like Sterling Brown is a very good rebounder, and, had 9 the other day. And now, that having been said, there were clips that we showed him and talked to him about, like, hey, here's one where you could have got a 10th one or an 11th. They're all, but so to your question, I mean, it's huge that, Giannis can go out and do the things that he does, including the rebounding, because we need it.
You were asked about Delly before the game. Was that classic Delly in the fourth quarter? What he gave me?
Yeah, he beat you to the punch. Yeah, he was great. I thought, it was, and it's, a lot of times people are going to look at the stat sheet and they're going to say, the 2 for 4 from the three is probably the thing that stands out the most. But he does so many little things out there for you. And it's not only getting you into offense, it's knowing the offense and where guys can be successful, or setting screens, executing plays, obviously making shots, and we need him to. He hit 2 big ones. I believe there was the right corner and the left wing that, were at the times big shots. So, no, he's an important piece. Everybody is, but obviously, this was a good night for him.
Coach, he wasn't the biggest highlight on the stat sheet, but John Henson with 13 points. It's now 6 straight games for him with double digits. What have you seen in his efficiency and consistency in scoring the basketball?
Well, what John has done a nice job of is, he's got a lot of responsibility within the offense, and I think, people would say, they would question that. But he's got to play on the high post. He's got to play underneath the defense. There's times where teams are switching on him, so he's got to duck in, but he can't stay in the lane too long and get the 3 seconds. If we don't get him the ball, he's got to run the floor. So he has so many things that he has to do, not saying that others don't. But when he gets to the spots that he can be effective, he's really, really good. And the other part of it is everybody on the team putting him in those positions to be successful. I mean, at the end of the day, we have success because we get to the right spots on the floor, and that's everybody. And so, John, right now, we're going to keep working with him and tell him, what we want or where we need him to be. But he knows his role and he knows what we need from him.
Jabari coming back on Friday, how much can he add to the team right now?
Well, I mean, we know what he's capable of doing. I don't think it would be fair to expect him to come out and, do all the things that he's capable of doing just from the standpoint of the time frame of being off. But, I think he can do a lot of things for us, just talking about that. He can rebound the ball for us. He's capable of, and just so looking at the offensive side, he can make plays to score himself, but he can make plays for others. Defensively, the rhythm of the game he's got to get locked into, not only guarding his man and the guy in front of him, but, staying within the scheme and how we're guarding as a team. So, it's, we know he can do a lot of things, and as time goes on and he gets the rhythm of being back on the floor, it'll be good for him and us.
Joe, you mentioned yesterday there was no real minutes limit yet, but are you comfortable when he does come back Friday that he can come out and play 25, 30 minutes, somewhere in that range as he returns?
Yeah, we've got a plan in place. I don't think right now is the time to talk about, exactly what, we've got going for him. But I think the one thing is as he's worked so hard to get back, things have kind of been in segments or stages. And now that he's back, it'll still kind of be like that, where we're working, within, like, it's not like, oh, okay, he played one game and he played this many minutes, so now we're just going to ramp it way up. Like, there's stages to this whole process, and so we'll constantly, as we do with all, we'll constantly be evaluating it.
You guys have a good thing going now with 4 straight wins. What's the key to keeping that going as you head into a little bit of a tougher stretch with a back-to-back followed by a 4-game road trip?
Yeah, well, I mean, this was a tough back-to-back in terms of, going to Chicago. Just look at the 2 teams. We're 0-3 against them going into this set of back-to-backs. The biggest thing for us right now is we need to stay focused on, we've got a game against Minnesota in a couple of days. Got a couple of days in between that we can make sure we get ourselves right and focus on playing Minnesota. That game will, it's... at the end of the day, that's going to be the game in terms of when we get to it. That's the one we're playing next. So, it's not that we are aware of the schedule and aware of what is going to take place, but we can't get ahead of ourselves.